Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. My name is Mark Sanders. I'm the principal here at MacFarland Middle School. We are going to begin with our new MacFarland Middle School alma mater, written last year by our music teacher, Mr. Guyton, and performed by our very own students. Again, I want to thank everyone for being here. I want to thank and acknowledge the presence of our mayor, our interim chancellor, Councilmember Todd, and many, many, many other people who were a part of bringing this project together, including those from MCN, DGS, DCPS, and too many agencies to name. I will point to one part of the song at the end, which was "Never Give Up, Never Give In," which is our motto here at MacFarland. We teach all of our students that they are going to encounter things that are difficult, things that are hard, and things that they are going to fail at initially. But if they will learn to get them to pick themselves up, dust themselves off, and try again, and try again, and try again, that eventually they will be successful. And I have told them that if they leave with nothing else, that if they can leave with that sense of grit and perseverance, then they will be successful in school. Now, our 8th grade students, and I'm about to introduce one to you, have had a lot of perseverance. We started 2 years ago in a very small hallway in this wing of the building with 78, now 8th graders, 6th graders, and they came in not knowing what the school was going to be, with a very small staff of 6 teachers, deans, and custodians. And we had a great school, not because we had a great building and not because we had a pretty building, but because we had great teachers and we had great staff. Now today we are opening with an absolutely amazing and beautiful building, thanks to the $62 million renovation. But the high quality teaching and learning continues to go on. I've told our chancellor, I'm telling our mayor, and I've told everyone who listened, we have the best staff in the district. And we have the best students in the district. And so therefore, we have the best school in the district. And today, we have a building that matches that image. So I am not going to speak for a long time, but I do want to introduce one of our founding new MacFarland School. She's now an 8th grader. She was our student body president last year and is one of the best poets in the school. Her name is Juliana Lopez.
Thank you. So, good afternoon. My name is Juliana Lopez, as Mr. Sanders introduced me, and I'm a founding 8th grader at MacFarland Middle School. I was here since 6th grade, 7th, and now 8th. And I love MacFarland because the staff, they are just very understanding. Everybody else in the building is just really amazing. The building is now amazing. The art inside, I would welcome you to go inside and look at the art. It's really amazing. And another reason why I love MacFarland is because it's just the teachers, they really help you understand what you're learning. MacFarland, I can't really find a word how to describe it, but it's just really amazing. It's also bilingual, why I love it. It helps me practice both my languages, Spanish and English. Now, without further ado, we have our mayor that made it possible for this school to be modernized, Mayor Bowser.
Thank you. Well, good afternoon, everybody. I love hearing Juliana say that she's a founding member of MacFarland because back in 2007 and 2008, when we had to make the tough decision to give this school a fresh start, I was looking forward to the day when new students, the new classes, would come into a new building and be able to talk about being the founding members of this fantastic school. I want to thank you, Principal, Chancellor, and Councilmember Todd for all that you have done to get us to this point. Please give them a big round of applause. And as I approached, there was one group of people who was more excited than I am on the first day at school, and that's the teachers and staff here at MacFarland. Give them a big round of applause. That's what I like. Everybody's excited to be back to school. Deputy Mayor Smith, I want to thank you, too, for your focus on helping us get to this point. You heard it from the principal. What we have here is a $63 million renovation. In Juliana, we really have the taxpayers of the District of Columbia to thank. For more than 10 years, they have allowed us to make investments in transforming our schools in all 8 wards. We've invested more than $4 billion to date. And I want to thank the Petworth community for being patient in helping us finish MacFarland. And the Tacoma and Brightwood communities in Ward 4, we're finishing Coolidge Senior High School. And just 2 years ago, we finished the fantastic Theodore Roosevelt Senior High School. So, Councilmember, with your diligence and the taxpayers' commitment, we are building out just an extraordinary public education system right here in the District of Columbia. And we are very proud that MacFarland, I think, is our only bilingual middle school in the entire system. And so we are excited about that for these young people. In the building, you will be able to see the really thank you, Rudy. The really careful renovation, and we want to thank our architects and builders and MCM Build for your great work on this project. So just last week, and the Chancellor will say a little bit more about this, we were able to announce not only what's been happening on the outside, but what's been happening on the inside of these buildings. And we made the very good decision, I think, a few years ago to go with the PARC assessment of how our children are doing in English language arts and in math. And I'm very proud to say that over 30 schools in our system saw greater than 2% improvements on those scores, which tells us we're all moving in the right direction. And today, not only are we opening this school and welcoming back our scholars across the city, we have the privilege of also awarding through the Deputy Mayor's Office over $8 million in after-school grants to local nonprofits serving our kids. With these funds, we will support more than 80 organizations, programs like DC Scores, the Dance Institution of Washington, and many others that provide out-of-school programming to thousands of students across our city. So with that, with before care and after care, with daycare, with investments in early education, middle schools and high schools, getting our kids ready for college and career, we can ensure that each and every Washingtonian really can live up to their true potential. So I want to thank everybody involved in these projects. I want to thank the teachers again for your excitement and your commitment every day to our students, to the community. Where's the Ward 4 community? Thank you, Ward 4 community, for really bird-dogging this project. We do a lot in the government, but the community really they dot the I's and cross the T's for all of us and make sure we can deliver fantastic projects like this. And Ward 4 is privileged, in my view. I live in Ward 4, to have a great council member that helps us do that as well. And I leaned over to Todd and I said, Todd, help me remember, when did this building close? And right away he was like, well, Mary, it was this date, because he was right there with me. And now he gets to be the council member who delivers this for Ward 4. Councilmember Todd.
Well, good afternoon, Ward 4. Uh-oh, we're cutting a ribbon. I think we can do better than that. Good afternoon. Well, I am just thrilled, as Mayor Bowser said, to be the council member that has the privilege to cut the ribbon on the fantastic new MacFarland Middle School. Let's give the middle school a big round of applause. And I could have had no better partners than our mayor to make sure that this project was fully funded when it came down to the council. And certainly, I worked very hard to make sure that the funding would remain. I want to thank DCPS, our interim chancellor. Thank you to our principal. Thank you to the Department of General Services. I did a walkthrough of this building about 3 weeks ago, maybe a month now. And I was like, wow, is it going to be ready for the first day of school? And DGS and MCM Build and McKissick have all worked double time to get it done. So let's give them a big round of applause. And I want to also thank the Ward 4 Education Alliance, who helps me and neighbors across all 20 neighborhoods of Ward 4 stay focused on what's best for our schools. And they were at the seat. They had a seat at the table every step of the way to make sure that MacFarland Middle School represents everything that our ward represents. I want to also acknowledge Advisory Neighborhood Commission 4C, who've also been very instrumental in this process. But we know now we have a $63 million renovated school, but we also have hundreds of wonderful children who will come here each and every day to learn. Let's give our students a big round of applause. So we know that a school is only as good as its building. It's only as good as its students, but it's also only as good as the teachers and staff. Let's give them a big round of applause. And so I'm just thrilled, as Mayor Bowser said, to have worked on this project right alongside with her for a number of years, right along with the Ward 4 Education Alliance. And I can't wait to cut the ribbon, and I can't wait to have hundreds of students matriculate through MacFarland Middle School and go right across the street to Roosevelt Senior High School. Somewhere to Roosevelt. So let's cut the ribbon. Congratulations, everybody, and thank you very much.
So now I would like to introduce our chancellor, who I think has been all over DCPS today. We started this morning in the school that is now in our portfolio, the Excel Academy. And I want to thank all of the women and men who came out to welcome girls to DCPS's only all-girls school at Excel. And now invite our chancellor to bring you greetings.
Good afternoon, everyone, and good afternoon specifically to the MacFarland School community. I'm so proud to be here at this beautiful, modernized MacFarland Middle School building. I want to start by thanking you, Mayor Bowser, for being an education mayor. You have made unprecedented investments in our schools, including fully modernizing so many of them. And as a result, our students now have world-class buildings to learn in. We're very unique and lucky here in Washington, D.C. This is not the case in many other urban districts across the country. When I talk to my friends in other cities, they're envious of me, of what is happening in DCPS and the support that I have from the mayor and the council. So thank you. I also want to acknowledge interim Deputy Mayor Anna Smith, Ward 4 Councilmember Brandon Todd, the Department of General Services Director Greer Gillis, who has worked so hard, there you are, to ensure that all of our buildings are ready. You've been truly a partner with us, and we thank you for that. On my team, I'd like to acknowledge Patrick Davis and Joy Ruffin. There's Patrick. And last but not least, Principal Sanders and all of the MacFarland teachers, students, and families. I have been an educator for 20 years. Today marks my 20th anniversary in the field of education. I began my career in 1998 as a kindergarten teacher at Walker Jones Elementary School. And over the years, I have learned what makes a school excellent. And excellence isn't only in the quality of our facilities, which are phenomenal here in D.C., but we also can determine excellence by what is happening inside the school buildings. Are our students engaged in rigorous learning activities? Do the educators feel supported and empowered? And most importantly, do students and families feel welcome? And I know for a fact that at MacFarland, the answer to all of these questions is a resounding yes. I want to tell a story really briefly about a young man that I met here, Freddie's. Do you remember Freddie's? Typically, when I visit schools, I ask the kids 3 questions. What do you like about the school? What needs to change? And how do you know that your teachers love you? How do they show their love? Well, on that second question about what needs to change, Freddie's answer was nothing. He said the school is perfect. And I thought, wow, and the kids went on in that group to talk about the teachers, and they said, we know our teachers love us because they come and help us before we even ask. They know what we need before we come to them. And then later that day, I went down to the library and met this wonderful staff, and I said, wow, those kids aren't lying. This is definitely one of the best staffs in the city, so thank you. As the mayor mentioned previously, last Thursday, we announced our park score, and I'm proud to say that the city saw gains in both literacy and mathematics, up about 3% in both. But at MacFarland in particular saw a 5.8 percentage increase in ELA and an 8.3 percentage increase in mathematics. Can you imagine that? In a building that was under construction, right? Can you just imagine what will happen when they are able to enter this newly renovated building? So today we are celebrating specifically in this building one that has been transformed to meet 21st century learning standards. We have a reimagined boiler room that has been converted into an inspiring library space with technology and hands-on lab spaces. We also have a new outdoor classroom, which will serve as a connection point to Roosevelt High School. There are also many other features that we will all get to see as soon as we cut this building. So in closing, I want to say that I'm confident that this building will be filled with excellence, equity, and joy throughout the rest of the school year. Thank you all so much for being here. Congratulations, MacFarland, and I wish you a successful school year.
One last thing. You notice all of these T-shirts that my team is wearing. It says every day counts. And I just want to remind not only our students and parents and community members and teachers that every day indeed does count. So we need you to make every effort to be in school every single day. We're all going to do our part, right, adults, to make sure you're ready. And we know our kids are going to do their part as well, because all of these investments, all of the plans that the teachers have for you, you don't get the benefit of them if you're not here. So we want all of our students and parents to make that commitment as well. Okay, let's cut the ribbon.
All right, in 3,